Well, you stuck it out to part 4. Thanks for joining us on our Chincoteague vacation. But can you make it home with us? This video captures what happened on our last day as we came home with a broken van. Make sure you stick to the end because we let you know exactly what was wrong with the van. You're going to be surprised.
Old house on the corner.
One of the things you may not notice during the bulk of the vacation videos is that our van was having problems. In fact, it had problems beginning on the day we drove down. Not even halfway into the trip, we started experiencing some issues.
Something weird with my van. We don't know what it is. We think it's something with the AC, possibly.
But they seemed to go away, and then they steadily continued to
Get worse.
We attempted to get it looked at by a mechanic on the island. There's only 3 of them, and all of them were booked heavily into the next week when we weren't going to be there. Or at least we weren't planning on being there.
We were hoping to not be there.
In fact, one garage that I called several times and then visited in person told me that they were so busy, but they were going to call us back.
And they thought they could get us in Thursday.
They never called us back once, despite the fact that I left several messages and visited in person and they took down my information. So they were definitely booked solid. Wish they had called back so they could have known a little sooner. But anyway, we decided to text a friend of ours who was a Dodge mechanic and ask for advice on what he would do to help us get home. And so with his advice, we headed out on Friday on our trip north. And we're able to limp the van along. At one point we did end up sending the rest of the younger kids with Nick and Brianna to head home. And Claudia and I proceeded by ourselves and made a roughly 6.5 hour trip in just under 12 hours by stopping and cooling off and filling more coolant and just limping our way home.
And we got off the highway, so we wouldn't have to be, if anything happened, we wouldn't be on the highway. So that made it take a little longer too, I'm sure. And we will share some footage here that we took that we vlogged as we were heading home after we had sent everybody on ahead, so that not everybody was taking 11.5 hours to get home.
Well, we've reached that bittersweet moment where we have to cut our vacation to a close, and we're making the long trip north to home. It's been a good week. We've had a lot of fun, seen a lot of things and done a lot of things, enjoyed the ocean. But it's time to make a trip back to New York State. If you're watching us on Old House on the Corner and you've enjoyed this video so far, make sure you check out Blondie and the Beard for more footage of our vacation. I'll leave a link down in the description below.
And if you're watching on Blondie and the Beard, make sure to check out Old House on the Corner. I'll also leave a link in the description down below.
So we are leaving Chincoteague. Our vacation is over, and we're praying the van makes it home with no issues because we're having some kind of overheating, something is going on. We don't know if it's electrical or something with the engine or a fan or a thermostat, and we called numerous places and no one could get us in here. So we have coolant with us and we're going to try to make it home. So we'll see. Sad vacation went so fast. We waited almost a whole year. We started planning this. Waited almost a whole year to come, and now here we are leaving. Time goes fast. Goodbye, Chincoteague. Sandy Pony Donuts. Island Creamery is a great spot to stop and get ice cream and coffee. Mr. Whippy's apparently isn't, according to some people that stopped that visited.
Yeah, smoke.
Get over to the mainland and stop at a gas station right away.
At least if we blow up together.
That's a cherry thought.
At least if we blow up together.
I don't know what would be smoking over there, though. The radiator cap is over there.
That fuse box.
That fuse box.
It smells electrical, doesn't it? So, we are still on our way home. We should have been home by now. But our van decided to just have major issues. Decided that the leak that was just a small leak apparently now is a pretty big leak, and we have to keep stopping to let it cool down and add fluid and fun things. So we decided to get off the main road, the highway, and we have no air conditioning because we think that maybe is part of the problem. But anyway, that's beside the point. We'll figure that out when we get home, what the real problem is and how to fix it. Well, we won't figure it out. Mechanics will figure it out. Anyway, we sent the kids and some things of theirs with Bria and Nick so they could get home, so my aunt could leave and get home tonight, so my mom's taken care of. And we just spent about 40 minutes, almost an hour at a Wendy's right outside of Scranton, PA, waiting for our van to cool down so we could add some fluid to the radiator. And Dale got some information from our friend who is mechanic extraordinaire and always helps us with all our problems, mechanically speaking. He can diagnose things over the phone, and he's just done it for a lot of years and very good at what he does. And he's a Dodge mechanic, which helps because we have a Dodge van. Anyway, we are on some back country road. This is supposed to be the quickest way. I don't know. We're looking for 29 North. Quickest way on back roads. Obviously the quickest way is to get on the highway, but if you're having problems on the highway, that makes it nerve-wracking and whatnot. So we are headed home. Says we should be there at 6:25, but that's barring having to stop again. My aunt said she was praying. Of course, I've been praying all day that we get home, but what should have been a 6.5-hour trip is now going to be probably a 12-hour trip. That's where we are, and that's why this is so bumpy and crazy. Dale has done all of the driving, which is nice because I get stressed on the highway driving. I don't like highway driving. I had to drive because my seat wouldn't move when we went down to Virginia, so I had to drive the whole way down and back when we went to Shanty Shower. So Dale's taken on all the driving this time, which was much more stressful because of the car issues. So my hero, I didn't have to drive. I'm so thankful for that. I could do this driving now because I don't mind this kind of driving. It'll probably take us longer to get there because these kind of roads I do tend to drive slower than him. We did indulge in Frosties while we waited. The place we stopped at had a Wendy's. You could go in and sit in air conditioning. That was nice to get a little break. Got to look on the bright side. Got to see the positives. And I guess you can say, you know, Dale and I have an hour and a half or so, just the two of us in the car with no kids to chat, whatever. So find the positives wherever you can in life because God allows what He allows, and you just have to make the best of it. So there's always something in life that happens that's unexpected, but God knows, God cares, and He provides all through it.
Well, we've stopped again. We made it as far as Wyalusing, Pennsylvania, and it looks like we're going to be sitting a little while longer while we cool again, check the fluid level, and see how far we can get again. It's roughly what time?
5:36.
5:36. Roughly. And if we're going to sit here another probably at least 40 minutes to let it cool so we can check the fluid level and probably refill again, it's going to be a whole lot later than we thought before we get home again. But at least we're having a good time so far, as much as we can make of it.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
We're now at least within if we had to get towed, it wouldn't be horrible because we're like within probably 50 miles of home.
Yeah. So we're getting there. Slowly, bit by bit, we'll make it home.
If we left our other van, we could get it, so we can leave this.
So once we get there, we can transfer all the stuff to my van, our other van, and then hopefully make it home from there. Well, we should make it home from there unless something goes wrong with that van, but we're getting there.
Which is not outside the realm of possibility.
It's not outside the realm of possibility, if you know our life. So. But we're enjoying our time, hot and sweaty and tired as we may be. We're
ready
enjoying
for
our
fall and winter. This is why we live in the north.
Exactly.
We don't like 90 degrees.
We only go to 90-degree weather when we're on vacation, as much as possible. We know it gets 90 degrees in New York, but we prefer the fall weather or the spring weather.
Winter gets a much worse rap than it should.
We enjoy our life in the north.
God made winter too.
Yep. So here we are. It's an interesting end to our vacation week.
We won't forget this one. Ever.
Thanks for sticking with us. For those of you who have, we'll catch you later. And if we have any more updates, we'll let you know what's going on.
So now we waited again, and we are getting closer to home. But now we have a thunderstorm we're driving through.
It's fixing to come down.
And we need gas, so Dale's gonna have a joy of getting out and pumping gas in the thunderstorm.
Thanks.
I pumped the last time.
You got nothing in the rain, you didn't. We're batting 1,000. We
No
are
gas.
batting 1,000.
No gas at the Dandy. It appears that maybe the power's out. You didn't try.
All the pumps are flashing.
I guess we're going to the next gas station. Hopefully the power's not out there. Cheery drive home.
Welcome to Towanda, Pennsylvania, in the middle of a rainstorm. That is a river coming down through there.
Bottom line, this little part was what caused all the problem. This little, what was it, $9, $7 something part was the whole issue. This leaking, this little thing. So the good news is it was an inexpensive fix, and it was also a very quick fix because the same friend, good friend, that who has bailed us out many a time with our cars, very knowledgeable mechanic, he fixed it yesterday. So the first day we were home. So we really didn't come home, and we weren't even without a car for very long. It was just, I would say, stressful because it was so hot too. Like, it was 90 degrees when we're coming home, and 90-degree weather with a van that's overheating. Well, it never overheated. So that was the other blessing in all of that. The advice that we were given from our friend helped it so that our van never overheated. Like, he made sure there's nothing engine-wise that happened to it because of all of this. So definitely a blessing there too. So blessing that it was cheap, that it was easily fixed, and that it didn't do any damage to the van. So when you're in the middle of issues that are unexpected and trying and frustrating and difficult, just remember that they are temporary. Brings to mind the verse that our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So anything like this that happens in our life is so minuscule in the scheme of eternity and what life is all about, that we just need to remember to keep that our focus and not the little annoyances that come up.
And the bonus was that God gave us some time alone, just taking our time driving home. So that was a plus too.